The Shaw Classic is over for 2021. If you haven't yet seen it, you can still check it out on the Shaw Elite Club. We've done a video on the results of the competition, which you can check out somewhere around here.
No. Yeah.
So this video, we're going to focus on the whole Shaw Classic experience, what we thought were positive about the show, maybe some of the negatives, things that we think could maybe improve for next year, and just our whole thoughts.
Our overarching thoughts.
So for me, being a former athlete, the thing I really take away from this is how well the athletes were looked after.
Definitely.
From scrolling through Instagram, talking to a number of the guys, they all really enjoyed the whole experience. Very well looked after by Brian and Kerry, which is fantastic to see. Anytime you see a show that looks after the athletes, I always feel that's really important, because you gain their loyalty, they'll want to come back and compete again, and they want to put on a good show for you. So it's so good to hear that they had a great experience, looked like they had fun outside, away from the competition.
Yeah.
And yeah, just one of those things that's always nice to see.
And Brian really understands that value. You've spoken to him before, and he's talked about how athletes have to know their worth, because without the athletes there is no show anyway. No promoter can do anything. So
Absolutely. It's
good to see he really practices what he preaches, but I'd expect nothing less from Brian.
The next thing I thought was great was the crowd. It was a smaller crowd. You know, Brian really made this quite an exclusive event in terms of crowd that was there live, and in terms of worldwide appeal. I think in terms of watching, it was a bit more exclusive.
I think also we should point out, when we say a smaller crowd, we're comparing that to the arena shows that we have in the UK. Comparatively, it's small. Compared to other competitions that other people would have been to, it's not small at all.
No, not at all. But he kept it a relatively small crowd.
Yeah.
One thing that was clear was the crowd was
Loving
electric.
it. Yeah,
you know,
absolutely loving
it was really cool to see how they would just cheer for everyone.
Yeah.
There was no favoritism towards just the American athletes. You could see every single athlete was getting a huge cheer, support from the crowd. So really good to see. And you know, a number of the fans that were there, we've seen posts and been tagged in.
They've sent us messages and stuff saying what a great
how much
time
they
had.
enjoyed being there. So it was really good to see that the fans had a great experience that were there live at the show. So one thing both myself and Auntie Liz love was the variety of events.
Yes.
And the larger lineup than normal. We've often see 10 guys, 12 guys in the show. Shaw Classic had 16 athletes competing over 2 days, which was contested over 8 events. Now, I have to say, these were 8 brutal events.
Yeah.
And I've seen people arguing, saying it was too brutal. Other people, you know, disagreeing. I don't think it was too brutal. I think the season is too close.
Yeah.
I think
I agree.
Right now, you know, athletes were doing shows the week before, 2 weeks before. There's athletes going away to shows this weekend, the following weekend. And, you know, some have gone away battered and broken.
Yeah.
I don't blame Brian in the slightest
No,
way. He put in a challenging competition. And we spoke about the events in the results video that we did. And literally every event was tough. You know, the medley that was in there. Normally a medley, you got guys running around, a couple of events that are there just to sort of drain you before maybe a taxing last implement. Everything in his medley was brutal.
Yeah, it was really tough.
Hammer tie deadlift for max is brutal. You're pushing to the limit. Log for max, again, brutal. The heavy yoke.
Yeah.
You know, the stone started at 160 kilos.
Yeah, 110 kilo dumbbell.
Yeah, 110 kilo dumbbell at altitude.
Yeah.
You know, it was a tough show, and I personally like that. I think you're going to find a really, really great athlete by doing that.
Yeah.
The only issue, and this isn't Brian's issue,
No.
it's something we need to improve as a whole in the strength community, and hopefully get promoters working a bit together in. We've got excuses this year, so I'm not going to go into it too much.
No.
But trying to space out some of these big contests, or big heavy contests, a little better, so athletes have the ability to do more. And then again, the athletes have to take responsibility and decide, right, I'm going to do this show, I'm not going to do this show, what's more important to them. So I have no issue with the events being as brutal as they were. I think it's Strongman. I don't think anything was too heavy. I think sometimes you see things that are almost too heavy.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the variety, the extra events.
Yeah.
The amount of times you'll have seen me talking about World's Strongest Man, saying we need more events to really decide who's the best in the world.
Yeah.
This was a brutal competition, and the guys really had to work hard to get the positions that they did.
I like how now we're going into the things we want to improve. It's my turn to talk. How does it work out like that? None of this is criticism, I would like to point out.
Is it? No.
This is like, we have the exact same goal as Brian, and that's to improve the sport and to bring it to more people, and therefore the athletes get rewarded.
Just to stop you there, I think Brian is doing a good job rewarding the athletes. He's trying to make sure this is a good show for the athletes so they get a decent payday. I do, however, feel the way that Brian is airing this to the world needs to improve for a couple of reasons. And I think, honestly, I really think it's because all the athletes are there. They're not seeing it from the fans' perspective.
No.
I'm a former athlete now seeing it from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
If I was there being treated great...
One of us now.
Yeah, I know, I'm one of the fans now.
Yeah.
You don't almost think about how the people back home are perceiving the show.
No, and a great example of that was WUS Bahrain. You know, I know you had a few technical glitches with the commentary, but for the rest of us, we were like, great competition. And then we come home and it's like, oh yeah, fans are going crazy because this was a problem and this was a problem.
Yeah.
And you genuinely don't know.
You often don't see that.
No.
So a couple of things that... I mean, firstly, I think this hiding the results... I don't know any other sport that does something like that. And as a fan, I want to know the results instantly. I almost start to lose interest if I'm made to wait for results.
I think the issue with it is... So, and I've got some good examples of why this is an issue. So there's a couple of different types of fan. I think there's the fan who will sign up. They'll sit and watch it when it's available. Obviously, there were some website issues, but once it's available, they'll sit and watch it. They'll be satisfied. But there's a whole cult, and I'm part of it. So it's not.
You are part of the cult.
It's a cult. The spreadsheet here, a gang. There's a whole cult of strongman fans who they have watch parties. They like to watch these things together. This format doesn't help with that. And the fact that people aren't allowed to take the results outside of the Shore Elite Club, it kind of kills that conversation and it kills the buzz. Now, I understand wanting to protect the results to avoid spoilers. And when you're showcasing it the following day, that's going to be a really tricky balance. But at the same time, I know for a fact from speaking to Colin Bryce, the hype and the conversation, even after the results are out there, it brings more subscribers.
I think if we were able to bring results to fans quicker, it may interest people to go think, that sounded really amazing, let's go watch it. I think if you kind of wait and wait, you lose that interest. And you don't see, I'm a big fight fan. I like boxing. I like the UFC. I go nuts as a fan if I was made to wait to see things, It doesn't work in growing the sport. It works in terms of a one-off event, being able to pay a little bit more money to certain athletes. And if you are part of that exclusive club, it's great. But then no one else is getting to see the event and the interest has died down. I think this is one of the issues we have with World's Strongest Man as well.
Yeah, but with World's Strongest Man, they don't block results from coming out. So although
But they used to. Whereas now there's fans there, they get the results out. So you get that interest online and that's improved. But there was a time it was almost behind closed doors and then shown at Christmas as a TV show.
The spreadsheet gang have been there a long time. And as much as we all complain about it, watching a sport on a spreadsheet, people enjoy it. Make no mistake that people enjoy it. But how much more
would they enjoy it if they could watch it live,
of course,
communicate through, the buzz of various different platforms. That's how we're going to grow the sport.
Yeah.
More people talking about the sport.
Yeah.
So then suddenly you're picking in these different people. Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
It's free promotion and marketing as well, because we wouldn't be the only channel. There'll be several.
There's loads of channels now that want to do it. And forget just the channels, people on social media saying how amazing this was, I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
It builds that hype.
Yeah.
I feel the waiting kills the hype.
I feel it does a little bit. It stifles the conversation. So a nice example on Reddit, on the Strongman forum, they have a mega thread for every single big competition. Now, this is a huge competition. It's over 2 days. It's, you know, it's got 16 athletes, 16 of the best in the world. It should be massive. Last time I checked, there was about 800 comments on that thread. Compare that to Manchester, the Giants Live, which was shown live on Facebook and on Official Strongman. There was 1.4 thousand.
I think it was more than that.
The Shaw Classic is exciting and new, and I do feel that it could be better if people were allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, I've actually spoke to a number of Strongman fans that pay to come to, you know, a lot of events, and I said, "What do you feel about the Shaw Classic?" He's like, "I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
not that interested in it." And that's sad because for me, I love the format. I keep saying this: 16 guys, 8 events.
I love it too.
That's what I'm a fan of. You know, we're testing the best. This should be big excitement, lots and lots of people interested in it. And I feel to progress it, maybe next year, we need to be doing the live streams.
Yeah,
I think maybe for the people that want to see the edited version, I think, and this is
you can do both.
I think the one issue we will say, or I'll say, I won't speak for Liz.
Don't speak.
I don't believe the edited version was good enough to have to wait.
Now, maybe, hold on. Hold on a minute.
I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for that, but...
Well, no. There were some weird cuts in there. Obviously, we missed a little bit. From my understanding, James, Brian's guy, his cameraman, was editing through the night. Now, that is... I've done that.
You know how hard that is.
And I've done that with no pressure on me, only the internal pressure that I put on myself. I cannot imagine how stressful that must have been with all those hours of footage from different cameras. Because people, you know, it would be nice to see more graphics, like a ticker and timer and that kind of thing. But it just adds literally hours onto the editing process.
But what I'm saying is, as a fan, I can pay $4, $5, $10 if I'm going to get a live stream.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay $10 for what looks like a live stream, but it's late. Do you know what I'm saying?
The thing is,
and this is,
you want to watch it. If there's going to be a crowd there, you want to experience it at the same time as those fans. I think that's the issue. It's slightly disjointed. The watching experience is disjointed. So we can't watch it together as a Strongman community and as Strongman fans, especially because obviously the website couldn't handle the volume of traffic.
Yeah, the amount of people that have kind of complained about not being able to get on.
Yeah.
Some people, I mean, as of filming this, some people still not being able to get on and watch.
It's Monday, isn't it?
Monday at the moment. You know, with Friday the competition started. We're Monday now. Now we're talking about it because we're massive fans, but we want to move on to the next events that are happening.
The next events
we're
this
already
coming
talking about
weekend
Europe's
as well.
Strongest Man. So it just, for me, loses a bit of the hype that would have helped build it and build more interest.
And it deserves it as well, because Brian and Kerry have obviously put in so much work, and I do feel that they would be rewarded more. I know the intention is that keep it quiet, more people will sign up, but I honestly think the opposite is true. I think shout it from the rooftops, people will be like, oh wow, what's this?
We
This
need
sounds
to see
amazing.
this.
I need to see it.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of platform, obviously that website was never designed with however
volume of
many
traffic.
thousand people visiting it to watch a video in mind. I think there are other great options though that could easily handle that traffic. Facebook events, what Giants Live have been using, you could do it in the exact same way, have people sign up to watch that and upload it, or you could do the live stream through it. Live streams are much more technical. It's a much harder work because there's a lot more factors to it, and obviously then there's the sort of stress and pressure of having a live stream. So, you know, I understand why they haven't gone straight down that route. This is a little bit, it's not easier, not on James, but
maybe, like, to grow this event, you've got to bring more people on. You know, the bigger it gets, hopefully we start seeing it go out live.
Yeah.
You know, I lost a bit of interest in it, which is a shame because the lineup was incredible. The athletes' performances were incredible. I recommend people go and watch it. I still do, because
Definitely.
guys like Trey Mitchell winning a huge event like this, people should be posting stuff about him. He should be getting a real big push, and he's not, because...
I'm sure he will soon enough, but you have that very small window of opportunity. We've got other big competitions coming. It needs to happen fast, doesn't it?
People move on very, very quickly.
They do.
And I mean, when we look at athletes that have done very well, Eddie Hall, when he won World's Strongest Man, he was like, sod World's Strongest Man, I'm getting this on the news straight away.
And I'm pretty sure they changed the rule because of him. Prior to that, from 2016
You could
backwards,
not do that.
You weren't allowed to do that.
Well, he wasn't allowed to do it then. He just
I know.
did it.
And good for him, because
Good
it's
for him.
actually helped all the
Massively.
champions since.
Absolutely. These athletes need as much promotion as possible. We need to get this sport as big as possible. And that's why, me personally, I can't get over this being so exclusive. I don't like the silencing, the waiting. I want to see the sport. You put these big events on, you get the information out there, you ride that wave and make it as big as possible to build on the next one.
And you know what? Like, he could even, after a month or so has passed, he could chuck the whole thing on YouTube and monetize it.
Yeah.
And it would make a lot of money. It really would. And then everyone gets to enjoy it as well. Because we shouldn't forget, not everyone can afford to pay for it.
No, and that's it's a fair point. And the people that can't afford to pay for it doesn't mean they're not fans of the sport.
No.
They don't want to follow it. And it's not to say they won't put money into the sport in the future if they're in a better position. But if we don't allow them access into it, how are we going to get things bigger?
Yeah. I think the Shaw Classic definitely has the potential to be a big part of the sport's growth, but more people need to see it and know about it.
Absolutely. Like we said, loved the concept of the events. We loved the lineup. Zydrunas was back. How cool was that to see?
It was awesome.
Unfortunately got an injury, but still, just seeing Zydrunas floating and doing stuff.
Floating.
You know, as a strongman fan, that's always good. Trey Mitchell, just credit to that man. He's just getting better and better, and a major win. He's put himself into that contender of, you know, young great athletes that all have potential of winning World's Strongest Man now. And it was just a fantastic show. So many impressive performances. The athletes being looked after, the crowd there genuinely loved the show. So lots of positives. Brian is the kind of guy that does listen to the criticism. He does try and make things better and improve them every year. And I'm sure he's going to make the 2022 Shaw Classic even bigger. While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.